Sorry, I just had to fix an audio setting on my Streamlabs, like always, because for some reason it starts to conk out of me again. But welcome to round 3 of the Trackstars Formula 3 racing series. I am joined here by my fellow commentator in Mr. Ennisbell. Let's see if my audio
race. You commentate in the Formula 3s with our Red Bull Juniors, so it's exciting to see you.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting here with this one, in those Formula 3 cars. I think I drove it for the licensing at one point. I think my audio's still something. But yeah, so yeah, they're not too bad. The juniors are definitely different.
Of the that has been battling it out for started losing a lot of tyre pressure, and he started losing a lot of confidence in that car. And unfortunately for him, he just dropped himself all the way down through the back of the field. I think he finished just outside the outside the podium, positioning in 4th place.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, I did see that, and I did see him have a bit of a struggle there. Just while I adjust this audio. Yes, Brian, it sounds like he's in a toilet because my audio is busted on this because me and Jarman use the same thing. All the settings go wonky. I'm trying to fix it. And I've got echo going everywhere, and I've got hang on, I'm gonna have to change it. I know where it's going.
Audios are sounding, and if anything needs to be adjusted, we'll be doing things on the fly. We have a fellow commentator, fellow driver in Josh Green, who's completely forgot about the race. If you're free, Josh, you can still. It's not too late to enter now, so you're more than welcome to jump in for the. For the feature race. Otherwise, we'll see you next time out at Suzuka in 1 week's time on Sunday. But as we go through qualifying, we have a few drivers getting in some lap time. So as we are on board now with Hurton, he set himself into 3rd place, while we have Mr. Dallitz on current provisional pole position.
No, he's sitting in the pits. I don't know why he's registered as first. So it's Hedges in first, Purden in second, Robinson in 3rd, Smith in 4th, and Carter in 6th. But I'm having issues currently with my headset that I'm using. I've got a lot of settings on.
Yeah, interesting. should be alright, so. His true potential in that feature race last time out, and he waited patiently and he got himself into that winning position as he sets himself a lap time which only improves him up into 5th place, with so far Hedges on current on provisional pole position, and then we have Robinson, who has been very strong. He's been actually getting some good performances, has Robinson, the last few rounds after taking a bit of a step down from the Formula 2 car and just wanting to just sit back and just kind of enjoy his racing again. He's been missing that kind of fun of just enjoying racing rather than just working around with tunes and settings and making sure the car works at certain tracks at certain corners. I think he's just enjoying himself now that he hasn't have to worry about all that stuff, and you know, running a successful race team here at Trackstars, it's well deserved for the boss.
Yeah, 100%. From, like, you know, he's dropped out of F2, you know, I think he feels a lot better in F3, you know, kind of enjoys it more. Yes, John, when he sounds like those 60s track announcers over the crackly PA system, yes, I know. I think I fixed it, I think. But that's the benefit, or the joys of me and you using the same program with a different logon and you having a different headset to me. So, and my computer settings being all wonky as well. So, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, maybe if I turn my headset down, it might be a little bit better.
I can adjust that. That's fine on my end. But I just need. You were echoing, so you sounded like you were either in a toilet or on like a scratchy PA system. So yeah. But it seems to be all good now. Hopefully.
I'm sure David Croft and Martin Brundle don't get these sort of issues when they're broadcasting live for the Formula 1 Championship, so it's very interesting. But as we get ourselves towards the end of qualifying, we've got ourselves 2.5 minutes to go, but still Hedges leads Robinson, so we haven't seen too many improvements from our drivers just yet. Whilst we saw Robinson actually go purple going into turns 2 and 3 through Coca-Cola, and then it's coming through to 100R, so it's a very lovely tracks, Fuji. One with a lot of drivers, but it's very technical because of the dirty air. Especially, you won't really feel it too much in the Formula 3 cars, but when we see the Formula 2 cars later on this evening, that dirty air is going to become a big problem. Especially when especially when drivers are trying to overtake coming towards Sector 3 and trying to get as close as you can to your rival, leading onto that back straight at the exit of Panasonic.
Yeah, I haven't raced in dirty air, so I don't know how it's going to feel, but if going from main series last year and the F2 and Interlagos, I can already sense that it's going to be bad. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
So Robinson was down on Sector 2, he just runs the car a little bit wide. Oh, he's actually got into the barrier, so that looks like he's qualifying done, unless he can really set the car up. What I would do is just reverse all the way back to the previous corner and start again, because I think he's going to have some dirty tyres, and the tyre temps will go down on Robinson's car, so going into turn 1 won't be ideal for Robinson to break deep into that corner, but still, he still holds on to P2 very nicely, as we did see James come in very late, so we'll be doing a red flag for James to get himself onto the grid for the sprint race, but we've still got Hedges, actual provisional pole, but actually his teammate in Purton has actually come through to P1 at the moment, so provisional pole position for 1 minute 41.6, so that's a very impressive time. Just over a second clear of his teammates, so the VL Racing boys are having a really good time on this track, whilst we see Carter struggling the last time race winner, but he's gone green in Sector 1, but usually Sector 1 is just all about that braking zone and getting the turn in before you go to Coca-Cola turns 2 and 3, and then through 100R it's all about just trying to hug the inside, don't run the car too wide, brake it nice and early, but as he's actually gone drifting around the corner, that's not where you want to be going, and he just almost loses control. Oh, Purton nearly takes him out at the same time as well, nearly ruined his lap time. So that's Carter's qualifying done and dusted, settling in P4, my friends. So not the start that he wanted after he got victory at Watkins.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unfortunate one there, but I'm quite surprised on the time difference as well between Burton in first and Smith in fifth. So 2.8 seconds, which is quite a lot, to be honest. But yeah, it's different seeing these cars. I think I haven't seen the F3 cars race really. We got Dallets coming through with some laps. I think he's just trying to fix up the timing. So he's doing alright.
He's if anyone's just wondering, your Dallas is there just for a bit of fun, just to get the numbers up because we might see a bit of a strong attendance here. Obviously, like I said, some drivers don't really favour Fuji for Formula races. We see Smith actually improve his lap time, but not able to improve his position. Burton has just got caught as he got caught up with that crash from, I believe that was Carter from WTC. Robertson didn't get to improve his lap time, and Carter won't improve his. So that's the grid set. So far, it looks like it's going to be an MSR VL 1-2 with Burton leading the way over his teammate Hedges, over a second clear from Hedges, and then we will have, I believe that is Robinson in P3, Carter P4, Smith for FR Bono Racing in fifth place, and then Dallas, the driver that didn't set a lap time, will hold out sixth place. And if we can get James onto the grid, he'll be starting in seventh place. So yeah, it is very interesting with these cars. They are slower cars, obviously, to suit drivers that don't have a lot of experience in Formula racing or don't want to make that step into F2 with the SF19s. But it does provide some close racing. The Red Bull Juniors.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting with these ones. Stig saying we started early. We did not, my friend, unfortunately. The lobby's been up for an hour and we always go racing at 6 p.m. Sydney time. So that will change from Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time to Australian Eastern Standard Time. But we'll just let Robbo know. While we sort this out, we shall be back shortly. Alright, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We had a bit of confusion between drivers and start times and whatnot, but seems like we are all, set now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and we'll wait and see for this one. But yeah, it's you've had a couple of people in here. You got Kaizen from the sunny Sydney West for the MSR lads. I know me. I'm also in the Western Sydney, and yourself, Nick. You actually just moved to Melbourne.
Yeah, absolutely. So I made the move from New South Wales to Melbourne. So yeah, big changes for me. So faster internet at least compared to what I was getting in Newcastle. But yeah, no, it's good. I love it here, and get some good coverage here. And most of the track, you could say, probably a third of the track stars community is well scattered around Australia, at least more or less in the east coast. So you've got a lot of drivers in New South Wales, a few in Queensland, and then more or less the drivers in Victoria, with a few exceptions in South Australia, with obviously your series admin in Jarman Dallets and the team boss of WTC Racing, Slappers Mate. And then we have one driver, I believe, in Darwin, or I believe in Northern Territory, in Gabans in Costa Rock for the main series. And then we have a few drivers in WA as well. So we're very well spread out in Australia, but I think the majority are all on the east coast.
I actually think that Costa Rock has moved, as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think he's moved down south. I'm pretty sure he got relocated.
Oh, all right. Yeah. No, fair enough. I wasn't too sure about that.
Yeah, I think there was saying some words about where he's moving to and stuff like that, but it's all got to do with the relocation of the I think it's the Navy or Army or whatever he's in. Yeah, so
he's in the Navy now.
Yeah, so because he got chained with that, he also got relocated. But yeah, as you said, we got people scattered all over the country essentially. We've got Ridwan over in Perth, who's currently probably living in yesterday.
I always give him the inside joke. He's still living in 2022. So
yeah.
Because it was funny, because during the pandemic, they would have been in 2019 because the borders were closed, and they'll probably close that, for a very long time, no matter what. So they probably closed that all the way up since the early 2000s. People wouldn't just want to go into Western Australia because, no harm, no offense, but probably many people wanted to go there because it's just too far away. The commute on a plane, especially to get tickets, is like over 4 hours long. It's cheaper to actually go to New Zealand than going to WA.
Well, funnily enough, when you fly to Bali, right, so people from Perth go to Bali for a weekend holiday because it's only, 2.5 hours, 3 hours on a plane. So it'd be essentially like us going to New Zealand. So, yeah,
exactly.
Funnily enough.
Yeah, exactly. So that should be pretty good easy for them. But as we finally got ourselves underway, we're about to get race one of the sprint race underway. 7 laps here at this 4.5 kilometre circuit here at Mount Fuji, at the footsteps of Mount Fuji, and we are lights out green flag race, and the two MSR boys have got away very nicely, with Burton leading his teammate Hedges going into turn 1. Robinson's actually going to lose a bit of ground to Carter, but going deep into the corner. Robinson's going to hang it around the outside. No, he doesn't. So he's going to tuck in behind Hedges rather, and we've got ourselves a nice clean start with our drivers this evening. So I always think of that. Every time I say his name, I always forget about the H. But I always think the H. Everything within most of the English language, the H is silent. So yeah, it's a great start with our drivers this evening. Unfortunately, James has just struggled a little bit on that start after coming in late, but starting in P6 after not showing any qualifying. And then Dallas rounding up the rear of the field. So 7 drivers this evening for 7 laps, but still leading the way. His person got a good, comfortable margin over Hedges in second. Hedges going defensive going into Dunlop. He's going to hold off Robinson. Oh, he goes a little bit too deep. Robinson with a bit of contact on the rear, and Robinson's going to go around the outside. They're going to go side by side going into sector 3. Will Robinson throw it late on the brakes, or will Hedges go a little bit later on the outside? He does, so he's giving himself a bit of a buffer between him and his teammates. So he's become a bit of a cork in the bottle as Hedges in this opening lap.
Yeah, it's pretty close here, and while these guys are tussling for position, you've got Burton who's gone out in front. I kind of really like this cam. It definitely gives it a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's definitely the new spectator cam is definitely a good one. I think what they've done with this, but also another thing it looks like they've changed the cinematic cam slightly. Like it gives you different like point of views and stuff from where it used to be. So, but we got a little bit of
So the battle pack is on for third place, or actually as early as second. So Hedges, like I said, is becoming a bit of a cork in that bottle with all these drivers catching up to them and bunching themselves up. I would say between Hedges and Dallas right at the back there, we're looking at about anywhere between probably 2 to 2.5 seconds between these drivers. So very close. Whilst you've got 2.5 seconds ahead is Burton over his teammates. So Burton really getting comfortable with his 91 Red Bull Junior from MSR VL Racing. Is leading the way ahead of his teammates. So got some really close battling, but Burton is really putting that foot down and really trying to capitalise on Dargan not being here. But we're seeing some moves in the background. Dallas going for an outside move, going into Dunlop. Will he make that? Will he hold it around the outside, or will Stig hold it into the inside line? No, so he will tuck back in. So Dallas is just there. Just, I think for him, he's just kind of been like the Red Bull Junior safety car, you could say, just checking up everyone's racing and racecraft. But he's doing a good job there. But he's taken a bit of a step away from his Formula 2. He's next for the last 2 rounds, and we might see him back for maybe Fuji, for Suzuka next week.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I do apologise. I put Japanese Grand Prix instead of Pacific Grand Prix. I screwed up on that one, but even so, we're still in Japan. So we're at the lovely Fuji Speedway here. But Dallas got a little bit antsy coming out of the corner there. Robinson here is on the back of Hedges, and what you were saying to me earlier, the slipstream in the Red Bull Junior doesn't really take much effect, and you can kind of really see from that. It didn't close up, which isn't really ideal.
No, well the downforces on these cars are very strong, so you can more or less take a corner flat around this track with a little hint of a lift off. So the downforce levels is very, very interesting. It's like you can get the cars working in corners flat, but then some obviously off-camber corners like this one, you just have to let off the throttle and you have to wait until you can get onto the power, otherwise it'll just drift wide onto the AstroTurf there. But yeah, it is very hard to get into that slipstream. You really have to get a good run, especially out of Panasonic, to get into the rear wing. But Robinson's gone purple into sector 2. He is really pressuring Hedges, and Hedges, you could say, is playing the team game for his teammate up ahead, and he's holding him up very nicely there. So Robinson has got a few podiums so far, so we love seeing Robinson getting a few podiums. But Fuji, he actually won with this track. He actually does like it because it's actually a few years ago to the day, I would say, he's actually got his first podium in Formula 2 back in 2020. So Robinson's got some good history back at this track.
Yeah, he's running pretty swell there in third. So Hedges doesn't want to really make a mistake there, but yeah, it's not really pulling much in. Like the slip is there, but kind of not really as much as what you'd expect or what you'd want. You can see on his steering wheel there, he's only at 251 k's. So that's look, that's not too bad of a top speed for these cars, considering the F2 cars are doing 270, 280. So yeah, it's they're not too far off. They're just a little bit down on power, but. I think it's good with the F3 guys. It doesn't really give them too much power to play with, and they can just kind of muck around with them and have some fun. Really, kind of essentially run what you run.
Oh, contact made between Hedges and Robinson as they're trying to go side by side, and Hedges gets a little bit of a push off away from Robinson. So I wonder if Robinson might have to give that position back, but Hedges looks like he's going to go back onto the inside. So Robinson might be doing the right thing, giving Hedges the position back. Well, we will wait and see until they get into Dunlop. So Hedges has gone through. Robinson's still got to hang it around the outside, so he gave the position back. But he said, you know what, I'll take that back, thank you very much. Hedges drops down from P2 to P3. It's now under pressure from Carter in P4. So Carter, the man you want to keep an eye on. the championship leader actually from the last time out. So he's the man that's holding the championship lead in 4th place, being a little bit blocked by Hedges in P3. So now Robertson's got clear of the VL racing driver. He's actually going to be pulling away and trying his best to get as close as he can to Burton in the remaining 3 laps of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, they're pretty close by, but I think that's probably what Robinson really wanted, was him to get out of the way of Hedges, and he can just kind of, he's gapped him to 1 second already. But this battle here is definitely one. Carter makes a run up the inside here of Hedges, so he's
so Hedges loses 2 positions in the span of essentially, you could say, a sector. So Hedges really struggling to get that car working for him, but he's going to not give up here. He's going to try and go around the outside through Coca-Cola. I'm not so sure if that's the best line through, but he's going to hold it around the outside. Goes Hedges. Does he hold that inside line? He's coming through 100R. My goodness, what a brilliant, that's a ballsy move there by Hedges. Well done, son. I think that's, like you said with the overtake last time in August, I think that tops it off there, DJ.
Oh mate, yeah, that was some pretty insane stuff there, and you know, good racecraft there from Carter and Hedges. You know, not pushing each other off track. They're still racing. You know, what's a bit of rubbing panels. You know, rubbing's racing. I love to say, but yeah, they keeping it clean, which is good. That's awesome. So it's really good to see.
That's a really good race there. To see those guys really duking it out there. So we see the battle for the minor positions with Smith for FR Bono Racing, ahead of James in the WTC Racing. So James, we also saw some good progression from him last time out in the first round of Road Atlanta, getting a stunning and a sensational P2 in the feature race, and he's done himself a good job. Not a great result at Watkins Glen, but he's just holding on after being a late shower for this race, for this round. That maybe in the feature race he's just going to learn about the car, try and get a few more extra practice laps before we go green flag for the feature race. But we are on lap 6 or 7. Carter's now again pressuring Hedges going into turn 1. So they go into turn 1. Will Carter hold it around the outside? Will Hedges go late on the brakes? Oh, he actually pushes him off a little bit, but not off the circuit to register any sort of steward inquiry. But Carter will hold around the outside and will take that P3, so no harm done between the 2 drivers, as Carter has got back 3rd place over Hedges, and Hedges has got a work to do. He's actually cut the corner through what Coca-Cola. Will he get himself a half second there, because that looked quite deep? Yes, it did.
Well, they both did.
Both have got half a second, so this will be interesting when it comes onto the pit straight.
It will, because Dallas is only 1.9 away. And that'll bring Dallas into play here in the 95 It's Racing Esports Red Bull.
And they're still battling. You can see the onboards with Hedges and Carter. They're still battling, just like it's like for a championship lead. This is incredible for the last place on the podium. Hedges trying to go around the outside of Carter. He's just run the car a little bit wide, and yeah, like you said, that's going to bring Dallas into the fold here. And I will tell you, when you do lose power with these cars, when the car actually slows down for that half second, and Hedges has just gone too wide, very wide there, that will also register another penalty, I think, from memory. So, no, it doesn't, unfortunately, so he won't. So he'll just get that half second, but both him and Carter have a half second. So it looks like Dallas might be getting 4th place away from Hedges, but he won't be getting himself close to Carter on that final lap. So we'll wait to see what Dallas will do, what Hedges does when he gets to the penalty line. Yep, to just lose his half second there. But half a second is not really half a second. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what this gap is actually like as they go into turn 1. What the gap is actually to that half second penalty.
He's lost about a second, essentially.
Yeah, there you go.
1.3, 1.2, 1.3. So yeah, it was 1.9 and it's gone down to 0.8. So yeah, he lost essentially 1.1 seconds. But yeah, the in-game penalties are definitely not something you kind of really want. But I feel sorry for Purden here, mate. He doesn't have much screen time. He just blitzed away from the field.
But he set himself a fast lap, the fastest lap of the race there. It was previously owned by Dallas, but Purden is just a man on a mission. Like he's been struggling a lot, especially with he's been suffering a few minor glitches with his game, with his network connections. He's having a bit of lag there, but it looks like tonight he's on the ball there. The connection is very stable with with our drivers this evening, and Burton's just driving away. So that stable network is actually giving him that confidence to really push the car where it needs to be and not exceeding track limits. But Dallas gets third place. So something happened to Carter there, and that we've just missed it there. Obviously, we just picked it up going through Dunlop, but Dallas up onto the podium after starting last. So that's a great drive for Dallas. But coming into Panasonic for the final time is Burton just weaving the car about, and this will be the first victory that will go to the MSR Vila Racing Garage. He's weaving in celebration. I think someone hasn't told him it's just a sprint race. It's not the feature race, but he'll take it nonetheless. Burton takes victory in the opening race, and then we have Robinson for P2, and then we have Carter and Hedges going into for a battle pack, and Hedges has gone through. They're side by side going into the finish line, and Hedges takes it away from Carter. My goodness, you can't separate the two, TJ. It's incredible. My goodness.
Yeah, that was an outstanding finish there.
What a race. God, the battle pack was just on them. I mean, we do apologise for Burton not getting much credit there, much camera time, but he takes the victory. But man, that battle pack was sensational. I think that's actually one of the closest F3 battle packs we've seen, especially for a podium. So that's really awesome there. So it's great results, great driving by everybody here. So as we see, the results screen is all official. Burton taking out the win in the sprint race, but he's got a whole heap of work to do. Longer laps, 13 laps will be the feature race. So who will take out the overall victory? Can Burton go 2 for 2? Can he be the first driver to take a clean sweep of this race? Or will we see Robinson, after being held up by Hedges in the early stages, will he come charging through? We'll have to find out very soon as we take a bit of a short break away as we get the grid sorted out for the feature race. So stick around and we'll be back very shortly. lights out and we're green flag racing. Burton holds the inside very nicely. Oh, it's a bit of cluster. Hedges goes wide, keeps P3.
Yeah, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I was in the I was having a code 20. Oh, Robinson out to the lead, mate. Look at this.
Yeah, we just saw that. We just caught I managed to catch the start there, but not the commentary. Yeah, it looks like Burton ran wide going into Coca-Cola, and then Robinson took advantage of that. So Robinson now leads the feature race here for 13 laps. We've got Burton in P2, but he's got a lot of pace, but he's going to come under. Runs a bit wide there. You don't really pick up a half second going that wide there, so that's actually one of the advantages you get around this track. But you can run wide there, don't get any penalties, so that's great. Like you get on Watkins Glen. But Burton looking for an inside move, thinks about a move. Doesn't think about it. Carter going to try and put some pressure on the VL Racing driver behind him in third place, but Robinson still holds that narrow margin over Burton. But with that form that Burton had, especially with that last couple of laps, it gets all taily going into second three, and it's still struggling. So the tyre top's not working, but it's not even working for Robinson. Robinson's still struggling to get those tyres up to temperature. Cold tyres on lap one. And I don't know if we've told the drivers, DJ, that it's 13 laps. It is a feature race. It's not a sprint race anymore.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like this. It's going to be on like what they say, on like Donkey Kong for the next 12 laps. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, I think.
Oh, then we see now we see Burton go for an inside move on Robinson, so he's going to take back P1. So Robinson has got nothing to defend unless he goes around the outside of Burton going into turn one. He's not going to hold, he's just going to tuck back in. That's the right sensible move there for Robinson. So Burton retakes the lead of the Pacific Grand Prix with Robinson in second, Carter holds third, Dallitz in fourth, and then Hedges drop all the way back to P5. And then we have James rounding up the top six. I'm not so sure what happened to Smith there. Maybe he just must have jumped out, finished the race. And Robinson runs really wide through 100R. That opens the door for Carter to go around the outside. Robinson will compromised on the inside line, and he'll get better traction going around the outside, and that's what Carter has done. He's gone in P2. Robinson has lost 2 positions in the span of the sector there, DJ, and he's now coming under threat from his team manager, from a rival team manager in It's Racing Esports.
Yeah, Dallitz looks like he's a bit further on the pack here, so he's really hustling the back of Robinson here. As you said, the former team manager and also the rival team manager and friendly other admin. Oh, we've got a battle going on here with Hedges and Stig.
That's okay. Well, you get a little bit of argy-bargy there, but they still managed to hold it out. Fortunately there. So as we get news in with Smith from FR Bono Racing, unfortunately had a bit of a mechanical fault going onto the grid for the feature race there. So unfortunately for him, his car couldn't get started going onto the grid, and unfortunately for FR Bono Racing, they'll be scoring 0 points in the feature race. A bit of a shame there to not see Smith have another crack there, but Dallas, as we see in the foreground, makes the move on Robinson going into turn one, and Robinson takes back P3 there, so very interesting. Must have done a switchback move there. Dallas got a little bit too deep into turn one, so he'll keep P4, and Robinson will go on, son, holds on to P3.
Yeah, it looks like he's done a...
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
He just ran very taily there through 100 up.
Yeah, the old switchback is definitely a favoured move for turn one. You know, you brake a little bit earlier on the outside, make the driver on the inside go a bit deeper, then do an inside-outside switch. So it's it can pay off, but at the same time it can also be very risky. So yeah, I'm really surprised here that Purton's gone out in front and Robinson's dropped back. So I think there may be something. Maybe Robinson might be having a bit of an ECU issue, or maybe the dirty air might be hurting him or something. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, well, the dirty air can obviously, when the guys are pushing the cars a little bit too much, you do get that dirty air effect. I've never really seen it too much in a Red Bull Junior, but I guess if you push it too much, then yeah, that dirty air will come into effect, especially for sector 3. As we did see Hedges on the previous corners, they even ran wide on that final corner from Panasonic, so he was really struggling to get the pace where he was actually up towards the front there. And now Carter in P2 defending, gone early defending from Robinson. But the slipstream is not going to be effective for Robinson because he's a bit far back there. So you're looking at about 3/10 is where you want that slipstream to work. But Robinson showing the nose, going into the inside there. Carter's not flustered, will hold on to P2. Robinson will stay in P3, Dallas 4, Hedges 5th. And then we have James rounding up your 6 drivers here, so not too, so very close between the top, between the drivers here this evening. So I believe from first to 6th, I think we're looking at about, what is that, about 6 seconds?
4.2, so it's a lot better.
Oh wow, what if?
It's a lot closer,
crazy
yeah.
close. That is crazy close with our drivers. It just shows when you switch on the balance of performance and you don't give the guys tuning, just give them the car and just send them on their way. It's essentially what you get with kit car racing. Just get a car and then you just throw it on the track and just go for it. Especially with some of the single make categories with the XL series. I'd imagine that as well. You give them the car, you just send it on track.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer no tuning, but you know, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, essentially, then when you take off tuning, give everyone the same car, it gives everyone on the same playing field. So then it really kind of comes down to performance and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, with Gran Turismo 7, we couldn't actually disable the tuning Formula 2 like we did in 2020 and 2021 on Gran Turismo Sport, where we could actually make the F2 cars and the drivers just have a bit of fun, give them the car and just go full blast around all the circuits that we visited. So unfortunately, with the overtake being part of being tallied as a tuning part accessory with the nitrous on the car, unfortunately that doesn't let us disable the tuning. So unfortunately with our drivers, they've had to do a lot of work in the background just to get their cars ready to show up at Fuji this round. But we're going to see some quite contenders for Formula 2, but we see Carter's just picked up a half second there, so that like you said, DJ, like we saw in a previous race, we'll be losing about 1.1 to 1.2 seconds on that pit straight, and you can see Robinson and Dallas are there, and they're going to come and they're going to chew him up.
Yeah, and he's going to lose a little bit of time, and it may bring Hedges into play.
Absolutely. So Hedges still struggling to get that car to grips in this feature race. We've seen him drift a lot there. He's not really comfortable in the feature race like we saw in that sprint, so he's really struggling to get that balance working. So he's not able to get comfortable in car 84 with him going through sector 3 now, and still James is right behind him. But Robinson and Dallas will be the ones to benefit from this penalty that Carter's going to suffer going on the end of Panasonic onto the pit straight. Wait and see for it to approach the line. We'll wait and see how far down he drops here. If Hedges gets himself closer. So there's the burn zone, and he's just surfed it right now. Lose that position from Robinson. Then Dallas will need to tuck back into the slipstream. Very close there. So Hedges didn't actually get any improvements at all. So not too bad there by Carter. So he didn't lose much. So he's still in the slipstream range, and he'll be wanting to get that P2 back in Virginia.
Yeah, I didn't think he lost as much as what I thought. And I think Hedges lost a lot of time in sector 3 for these guys. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that he did lose a little bit of time. But James has come through. He hasn't been able to pass Hedges here for 5th place, so it's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, the battle's on here. Robinson's moved up into 2nd as well. So was he in 2nd? He was in 2nd, sorry.
He was in 2nd. It was just him and Dallas just battling it out for 3rd. Now he's battling it out for P2. Dallas going to go around the outside. Robinson fakes it left, fakes it right, sends it down the inside. No, he doesn't. He's blustering Robinson, and Robinson's gone deep. This is going to allow Carter into the fold here, and then you bring the guys behind them, Hedges and James. This is actually close pack up, really close here. And Dallas has gone in to take P2. Carter's all on the back end. Contact made between the RSR and WTC racing drivers. And then look in the background, Hedges and James are there. But this is all playing into favours of Burton. in P1. Look at that gap there. So you can just see he's already on the main straight as these guys are negotiating Panasonic for the 6th time. So my goodness, the racing is close here, ladies and gentlemen. For 6 drivers battling it out for P2, it is awesome to see.
Yeah, this is some good stuff here. And actually, this has brought Hedges back into the back. Where did this come from?
Just they're all holding each other up, with Robertson going deep through Dunlop. And then Hedges is going to look for a move on Robinson. Will send it in late. Will he hold it in? Gets it done. So Robinson goes a little bit too wide on the exit of turn 1. And Hedges takes P4 away from Robinson. Robinson's actually lost more ground there, so something's happened. He's actually looks like he's gone onto the AstroTurf. And yes! So Robinson has gone very, very wide on the exit of turn 1 there. He didn't really need to. But I guess maybe too eager on the throttle. That sent him all the way down the field there. And the gap between him is at 3.6 between the two drivers now.
3.4, yeah. So he's
3.4, yeah.
definitely, something's definitely happened to that car.
Very unlucky there, Robinson. But yeah, but Hedges comes back into P4. Now Carter's going to challenge Dallas in P2. We're not so sure what's going to happen with Dallas. I think he might just, as we saw in that last race, he just might surrender that position, just give these guys those points that they need. And Dallas coming through, doing very nicely in P2. I wonder if he might be able to try and bring this deal closer to Burton with only 7 laps to go with the Pacific Grand Prix, with Burton leading the way by 3 seconds between him and Dallas. And then we have Carter, Hedges in 4th, and then James Robinson rounding out the top 6. Unfortunately, the DNS going to Smith in the FR Bono Racing Red Bull Junior. Dallas runs very wide on that AstroTurf there. So DJ, you just tell me, how tricky is that corner, especially when you're going through the AstroTurfs here on the last corner, through Panasonic and then through turn 1. Once you get onto that stuff, what happens?
Well, I'll put it in the words of the famous Matt Simmons. We go, well, I can't remember what we said to him, but we just go, is that AstroTurf, like, I think they call it spin turf or something like that? Basically, essentially, as soon as you get a wheel on there, it'll spin you. So, by the looks of it, that's what's happened to Robinson. He's got on the AstroTurf on the outside of 1 and he's just spun. So, in case people don't know, Matt Simmons was the 2015 GT Academy winner. We do have him in the series every now and again, so he has raced overseas, and as far as we know, he's progressing with uni and stuff like that. So we'll wait and see if we find him in the series this year. But Hedges, mate, the track's to your left.
Exactly. He's got himself he's got a half second, so that'll lose him the decision to James, the other WTC racing driver in his Red Bull Junior. That's in that very fluorescent orange vibing colour there. But Burton is actually losing time to Dallas here. So this is what Dallas is actually trying to do, is close the gap to Burton, so then he can try and bring the field in. But Dallas has actually run away. He's actually pulled a bit of a gap over Carter, as we can see there in the background. So yeah, he's actually gapped Carter, and he's going all over towards Burton with only 6 laps of this Grand Prix, 4 laps of this Grand Prix remaining. Dallas in second, Carter in third. Hedges will be serving that half-second penalty on the main on the pit straight, and he'll lose the position to James in 5th place. And Robinson rounds up the rear of the field. You can see that. You can even see on the map there just how far back Robinson is. So that is just going to be a big kick to the guts there for Robinson after just running wide. After running a little bit too wide, giving a bit too much space to Hedges 2 laps ago.
Yeah, I think Dallas is on the hunt here for this, just to give, Burton a little bit of a run for his money. You can see he's done a 42 flat, and he's now gone purple again. So he's kind of pulling time out of Burton quite considerably, which is, I guess that's kind of the experiencing. We've had Jarman's been around the racing and stuff like that for a while, so you get your head around the car and how to drive it and the limits you can push. You can start to push the car and start to pull some time out of the car, which is essentially probably a good thing. And he's gone 210s here, so we may see a 41. But this sector 3 is either a make or break, I think. I don't know about yourself, but sector 3 is not my best.
No, it's very tricky. It's all about trying to get the balance of the car, just see how much downforce you actually apply to this car. because you would say, obviously, with the amount of straights and fast line corners here, obviously with these cars you don't get any tuning, but obviously with the F2 race coming up very shortly, the package is going to be very different. You might see some drivers go for that high aero, especially for sector 3, and then especially going through the corners like turns, through Coca-Cola turn 2. You'll be seeing cars going more or less flat around there. You'll see cars have a little bit of lift off through the race, but in qualifying, expect them to be going all full beats through that first sector, and especially that sector 6. Yeah, sector 3 is really challenging as Hedges goes late on the brakes. He's got confidence there compared to James in 4th place, but yeah, I mean, it is very interesting to see how these cars work in that dirty air through sector 3, because it doesn't really phase it that much.
Look at that, as we say it, dirty air, man, that's disgusting. He just runs really deep into there, and the dirty air through here too, you can just hear the tyres screeching, running real wide, man, that's ridiculous. Oh, James running really wide there in the WTC Racing, number 56, so yeah, it's interesting thing with the new factor of GT7 bringing in the wind and the dirty air. Well, to be honest, I don't know if they kind of went a little bit overkill with the dirty air spectre of things, but yeah, I think it's definitely not favourable for people. So we didn't have it in GT Sport, or we did a little bit, but not as much as it affects the cars in GT7.
Exactly right. So it's very interesting, and now we see Dallas ahead. So what's happened here? So we've missed Burton. Yeah, we've missed an overtake there. So Burton drops to P2 with only about 3 laps to go, and that's actually brought Carter closer. So Dallas has worked a treat to close the gap, and as we can see that Burton flashing his lights at Dallas, thinking, "Hey, you're not part of this series. Why not take the lead of our race?" This is not like that whatsoever. So.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still kind of curious as to what happened here with Robinson. I think he's done a couple of slow laps, or there was one fast lap. Sorry, one slow lap and 3 fast laps. So that spin that he had at 1, or that off track he had at 1, has definitely not done him any favours there. So, unfortunate for Robinson, considering he did had a good performance in race 1. So
absolutely. So we'll wait and see what the outcome will be at the end of this race, but obviously whether Dallas is actually going to take victory at the end of this, we'll wait and see, as he did in the last round, just pull off to the side. But we'll wait and see, because it could be, it could be a situation that we saw with Jamie Whincup, I believe, in 2017. I think he got himself a penalty, but he was still essentially leading the race as they crossed the finish line, so it might be a situation like that.
Was that at Bathurst? I think it was at Bathurst.
Yeah, the Bathurst.
Yeah. I can't remember what the incident was, but I do remember that, and that's how Bird running nearly on the track limits there. And that's what actually gave David Reynolds the win. So that gave Betty Klimenko her first win in the Supercar Series. So that was a good job from her. But still, I think she's so far the most recognised team owner, or most awarded team owner in racing that's a female. So hats off to Betty. She's also a lovely person. So but yeah, it's definitely interesting how penalties and stuff can work. I've had a win taken off me from Brands Hatch. We've had people get taken wins off at Monza. We've got it's penalties are there for a reason, and rules are there for a reason, and they don't follow them, they get penalised. So it's a bit unfortunate, but racing's racing, rules are rules.
Exactly right. So yeah, it was very interesting. Like I said, I don't remember the incident. I think it was like a 15-second penalty that I think he was given, and he tried to pull away and try to get a big gap, but it was only with about 4 laps to go, I believe, and then he got that penalty. He just had no time whatsoever to get that gap for 15 seconds in 4 laps. So yeah, it was actually a really good race, that one. I remember that. So, but with only about 1.5 laps to go, we've still got Dallas leading the way in the It's Racing Esports Red Bull Junior, with Burton in second. Carter is putting pressure on Burton, less than a second now. as he's coming through, he's actually flashing the headlights again. So I wonder, and this must be a thing that I wonder if he's actually I wonder if Burton's on the control. I actually haven't spoken to him about what equipment he's using, but if you're flashing the headlights around a corner, it definitely means you're under control because you're just pressing that left stick down as you turn the car in. So, you know, interesting. Another controller driver on the grid.
Yeah, good old controller drivers, eh? They're taking over the world. It's great. But
onto the final lap we go for the Pacific Grand Prix here for the feature race. Dallas leads the way for the final time, and then we're going to be having ourselves the battle. Could be potentially for the lead here on the final lap. Burton versus Carter, just like how it was last time out with Burton, Carter and Dargan. We've seen the roles reversed now with Burton in second place, Carter the chaser in third place, and we have James in fourth, Edges in fifth, and then Robinson lonely in the background in sixth place there. So the gap is the field is a little bit more spread out now compared to what we saw in the sprint race. That's what as you expect in the feature race, but the battle is on for between Burton and Carter. We've got ourselves the executed sector 1 very nicely there. Get yourselves through sector 2 cleanly. Make sure you get yourselves into that groove of trying to not outbrake yourself here. Don't take too much of the inside curve because you will lose momentum. Carter's actually got himself a better run there. We see Dallas actually going quite slow there into sector 2 there, so he's lost a bit of time as well. So Dallas will be coming under pressure from Burton in the last lap as well. So we have Dallas in first, Burton second, Carter third, and it's going to go right down to the wide, DJ. I don't even know who's going to take it.
yeah, you know, it could be anyone's race really. But I'll wait and see. I would say that Dallas would pull over and let these guys ahead so they can get maximum points. Either that or he will just adjust the points likely as
Absolutely. And this is the crucial corner, DJ. Will Carter throw it into the inside? No, he doesn't. He's going to run it wide. Get a bit of a slingshot effect to try and get towards Purdon. As we see, we see Dallas pull off to the side, and it's no match for Carter to get himself into that slipstream. Purdon is going to come through, take the clean sweep. The first clean sweep here in Track Stars Formula 3 going to Purdon for MSR VL Racing. Well done, Purdon. 4 maximum points going towards the VL Racing driver. Carter will take second, and then we have James on his getting another podium for the Formula 3 Championship with Hedges in fourth, Robinson in fifth, and then Dallas rounding up the top 6 drivers with Smith unfortunately not making this race. But my goodness, what a race that was for that last lap between Purdon and Carter. I thought Carter was going to get him on that last corner there. He got a good exit, but unfortunately it's just not enough. It's not like what you get in a Super Formula car, but Purdon takes the victory, pole position and the clean race. Not the fastest lap, which went to Dallas, but man, that was a great show.
Yeah, that was a great show. I'm actually surprised that they put on such a good show like that. But yeah, I think that was a good race there and a clean sweep there from Purdon. Mate, get out the trap card. But as well, I think we've just heard in from the team's bosses that we've had a bit of shifting happening in F2. So for obviously everyone would have saw last round we had Campbell get a top 5 in F2 and then he raced in main series. So he's actually now moved into main series for CP Motorsport. So he's actually what do they call it? He's taken himself out of F2, so we won't see him there anymore. So the standings have been jumbled up a bit. But yeah, it's good work there from Campbell, and he actually got a podium on his main series debut too.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. He did a really good job there. He did finish P4 in the unofficial standings, but obviously with O'Shea getting himself that post-race penalty of using the overtake whilst leading the Grand Prix, unfortunately just cost him that P2. So P2 to P4 really hurt O'Shea. But yeah, Matt Campbell's put on a stellar performance in his second race in Formula 2 and then in the main series. So it's great to see another driver coming through the ranks at CP Motorsports. But as we go through to the driver of the day here in Formula 3, I think there's only one man that could take that, DJ. I believe Purdon is going to take that clean sweep of winning the race and winning the sprint, the feature, getting pole position, and now gets himself driver of the day.
Yeah, I think it's pretty, stupid to not give him driver of the day. It's his clean sweep, and he's probably his first clean sweep. So, big congratulations there too. And I'm certain that will probably shuffle up the standings a little bit too. Granted that Carter didn't get, first or that. So hopefully Pert may have closed that gap to him.
Championship lead after Dargan's DNS here at the Pacific Grand Prix, and then we'll wait and see the remaining fields. I believe he might drop down to P3 at the end of this, so we'll wait and see what the official standings are later on this evening. If you haven't seen, we do getting our formula standings out as quickly as we can, so we can please some drivers. But yeah, until then, we'll wait and see what the standings are officially later this evening. But for now, we will get ourselves out of here and you actually will have to get yourself into the car for your second race in the Formula 2. So all the best, Ryan. Good luck in your race. But until then, thanks for joining in the commentary box of Formula 3. Thank you for joining us in the stream. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we did. But until then, we will see you guys